Are your kids tired of pencil and paper? Bored with coming to the blackboard? Do you have a Promethean board and no clue what to do with it? Then follow me on the beginning of the journey to using ActivInspire, the amazing program that will allow you to make interactive technological flip charts that will have your students begging to come to the board and give an answer. Ever since I began to use this program, I became addicted to it and the possibilities of programming that comes with it. After today's tutorial, I hope you have a better understanding of some of the tools that can be used in ActivInspire. The best advice I can give you to understand this program is this. First, just play with the tools and see what they do. Then, look at other people's work and get an idea of the capabilities of the program. And watch tutorials to figure out how those things work. If you try to figure out everything at once, you're just going to get frustrated and overwhelmed. And that will never amount to anything. That is how I learned, and now I absolutely love this program. Today I'll be showing you some of the basic tools in ActivInspire and how to create this flip chart, which is a simple sorting flip chart that allows for student interaction and even includes sound. Here's a preview of what the finished product will look like. Let's get ready. To start, we are going to open up the program, ActivInspire, by double-clicking its icon on the desktop. A dialog box always opens up, and it's like a shortcut menu for the program. It shows recently opened flip charts and a few other options. For today's demonstration, we are just going to close this box because a new flip chart always opens by default. Before we begin our project, let's look at the main screen. Along the top are our menus, your typical file menu, where you can open, save, and create new flip charts. Then the Edit menu, which has the usual features such as cut, paste, copy, undo, redo, as well as some new features that are unique to ActivInspire, like a grid and page background selection. Next comes the View menu, which allows you to turn on and off parts of the menu you want to actively use and see, such as the toolbar, the browser window, and the trash can. At the bottom of this menu, you will see Customize, which allows you to pick tools to be kept more conveniently on the toolbox, which is currently on the right-hand side of the screen here. Next is the Insert menu, which allows you to insert files, external media and sound, pictures, etc. You would also use this menu to access the Questions window, which is a tool used to create quizzes that work with ActiveVotes. Using ActiveVotes is on a separate tutorial. Last, we have the Tools and Help menus. The Tools menu simply offers additional tools that may or may not already be in your toolbox on screen, and the Help menu will take you to the online resources. Now let's get started on our project, making an interactive sorting flip chart. The first thing we need to do is select a background for our title page. If you look on the left, you will see a browser window, which shows us all the pages in our flip chart here. That's the first option. There are other browsers we can choose from. Next here is the resource browser, which we are going to use in just a moment. Then the object browser, which shows us every element on the current page. Then there's the notes browser, where we can add presentation reminders or notes on how or why we did something. Next is the property browser, which gives us all the details about a single selected element on a page. We're going to use this page a little later. The next browser is the action browser, which shows us many possible actions we can do to the page, objects, text, or other things that the page can do. Last is the ActiveVote browser, which is for the use with student quizzing and those tools I mentioned earlier, ActiveVotes. We're going to go back to the resource browser, and that allows us to pick pictures and other elements from the ActivInspire database. You can download additional resources for this resource browser from Promethean Planet. For now, click the plus sign beside backgrounds right here to open up a list of choices. You can then pick any background you'd like from these available choices. Here we have illustrations, papers, patterns, photographs, and textures. I'm just going to go on the illustrations menu and pick that nice beach background. Now we want to add a title to our page. We're going to go over to our toolbox for this. Toolboxes can be customized to suit your preferences as mentioned earlier. Once you get familiar with the program, you will have favorite tools that you use more often than other and you'd like to have more available. For example, I add a lot of media to my projects, so I added the Insert Media tool to my toolbox. The area that you're going to use mostly is right here, and let me explain what some of these features are. You have your arrow tool first, which of course is just like a mouse, which allows you to select and move objects. Then you have your pen tool, which allows you to write freehand. The highlighter tool is also a freehand tool, and it works just like a real highlighter would. Then, of course, we have the eraser, which allows us to erase those pen and highlighter marks we've made. And then the fill tool, which works like in the program Paintbrush. You click on it, you can fill an object with color. The shape tool gives you several options for pre-drawn shapes you can create. And then the text tool, which we are fixing to use now. When you select it, you get just a traditional typing icon. You can then click anywhere on the page and begin typing. Like any other text, you can adjust the font, size, and color using the options up top. Lastly, you can adjust the size of the text box by dragging this border right here. You want to make sure you drag this border if you're going to type a lot of text. Otherwise, the text will continue going off the page and not stop. I'm going to pull this up top here now. I'm going to make my text a lot larger since it's the title. And then give it my title. And since our flip chart is about silent E, I'm just going to simply call it the Magic Silent E. Kids love when you add things like magic into your conversations. All right. Now I'm going to add another text box, which adds my name as the creator. And this time I'm going to make it a lot smaller since that's not really an element of the flip chart. I'm just going to give myself credit for creating it. This is especially helpful if you plan on sharing your flip charts or using it with other groups of people. You can dress up this page by adding pictures or other text if you'd like. For now, our page accomplishes the purpose of explaining what the flip chart is about. I'm going to now go to the next page by going back to my toolbox and clicking on the next page icon. On this page, we're going to repeat the process of adding a background. I'm just going to use the same background as the title page and drag that beach background right over here again. Then we are going to add the text I want on the top of the page. Since this flip chart is reviewing the use of silent E, my text is going to be directions for completing the interactive flip chart. Okay, I'm just going to type the directions here. And here again, I've got to make sure I adjust the end of that bar so that my text doesn't run off the page. All right. Now we have a simple set of directions. I'll just center that to make it look nice. Put it at the top of my page, make sure it's small enough so that I have lots of room for working down here. Now we're going to make two boxes. Going back to our toolbox, we're going to click the Shape tool and then choose the rectangle. We're going to choose a color for the fill up here. And down here, we're going to choose a color for the outline. So I'm going to choose black for the outline and a blue for the inside since it'll kind of match the beach theme. If I right click on any color in the color box, you can get a wider choice of options here. So if you don't see the color you like, you can always go to the color wheel and just pick another color. Okay, so there we go. We've got a nice blue to match the beach. And I'm going to draw a nice large rectangle here. We want it big enough to sort our words. Okay, then I'm going to go back to my arrow tool and either use the shortcuts for copy and paste, such as Control C and V, or you can right click and copy the rectangle and then paste it again, which I'm going to do just because it makes it easier to make boxes that are the same size. And oops. There we go. I'm going to move the other box to the other side of the screen here. There we go. And I've got two boxes that are exactly the same size. There we go. Now, we're going to draw another text box and label our boxes. We want to label one box short vowel sound because we're sorting our words like that. I'll just put it at the top of the box. And then I'll do another box that says long vowel sound. And put that there. All right. Next, I'm going to create some words that can be sorted in this activity. Again, using the text tool, I'm going to type some words that either have the short vowel sound or use E to make the long vowel sound. Again, make sure your text box for each word can be manipulated separately by making separate text boxes for each word. This way, we can make each word have its own characteristics that will allow us to sort them later. You can add as many words as you want, or objects or pictures or whatever it is you're choosing to sort. But for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm just going to type a few words for us so we can get the idea of how to do this. Pet, time, cab, and let's say cake. All right. Now we've got some short and long vowel words. You can organize them however you like on the page. Simply up to you. Now, here's how we're going to add some special effects to these words to make the sorting a little bit more fun. Using the arrow tool, I'm going to pick the first of my words. Then I'm going to go back over to this browser window and choose the property browser. That was this one right here. Now I'm going to click the identification tab and open that up. And then I'm going to go down to keywords. Moving over, I'm going to select this icon right here with the dots on it. And an editor will pop up where I can add keywords that will be associated with this word, this object. I'm going to give this, I'm going to say add, and give this keyword, the keyword short, because it's a short vowel word. You could use any keyword you want, but of course you want to make it short and easy to remember because it makes your job easier. Once I've added that keyword, I'm going to click OK, and now this word, pet, has the keyword of short. Okay? Now, before I'm done with this word, I'm going to go all the way to the bottom of this browser, and I'm going to click on that Container tab. One of the options under the Container tab is this right here. It says Return if not contained. I'm going to change that to true. And basically what's that going to do is if your student sorts the word incorrectly, the word will bounce back to its original location. The kids love this. They think it's amazing. All right. Now that we're done with pet, we're going to repeat the process with all of these other words. Now with time, that's a long vowel word. So I'm going to go to identification, give it a keyword of long. Now because I'm sorting more than one word into the same box, I'm going to give all the words that go in the same box the same keyword. So when I go back to cake here, oh, I forgot to do the container. Here we go. Don't forget. If you don't forget to put that container, make it true, then that word is not going to bounce back when you put it in the wrong place. So when I go to cake here, I'm going to give it the keyword of long also, because it will be sorted the same way as time is going to be sorted. Again, going down to container, making that return rule true, so that all of our words will bounce back just in case our little darlings get it wrong. Okay, for cab, we'll let that the short keyword and make that true. All right. Now, our words have the directions, but our boxes do not yet. So now we're going to give our little boxes here rules to be able to accept those words. I'm going to click on the short sound box and move back over to the property browser. Now this time I'm going to go ahead and go straight to the container tab. Under can contain, I'm going to click keywords because we want it to contain words that have keywords that we're telling it to look for. Down here where it says contain words is we're going to tell it what keywords to listen for or look for. Just like with the naming of the words, we're going to add a keyword and we're going to tell it to accept all the words with the keyword of short. Okay? Now, to make it even more fun, we're going to give a reward sound. Every time a child sorts the word correctly, we're going to reward them with a sound. So right here where it says reward sound, I'm going to hit true. And then this box opens up for us where we can find a sound. When you click on that little box with the three dots, it opens up a window. ActivInspire does have some pre-built-in sounds, and again, you can download more sounds from Promethean Planet or use sounds off of your computer. I'm going to click the sound file, and there's several different things you can choose from. I'm going to go to the people one and pick some applause. You can preview the sound here. And if you like it, you can keep it. I'm going to hit open, and there it is. Now the applause sound is connected to this box. I'm going to repeat this process with the long vowel box. And go over to container. Say it can contain keywords. Give this box the keyword of long to accept. Hit OK. Say yes, true to the reward sound. Again, go back to the reward sound box, and this time we'll let them cheer if they get the correct word. Here we go. Okay? You can use the same sound, or you can pick a variety of sounds. It's really up to you and how much you really want to do with your program. Last but not least, we're going to check our program. Let's make sure it works. We don't want to get in the middle of a lesson and realize we forgot to give something a keyword or do anything. So I'm going to just test and see what happens. I'm going to take pet and put it in the long vowel box. Oh, look, it bounced back just like we planned for it to. But when I put it in the correct box, we get a reward sound. Excellent. Do the same thing with each word. Put it in the right spot. We get a reward sound. If it's in the wrong box, it bounces back. And we know our Promethean chart works. Now, once it's been put in the correct location, you can put it back in the spot it belongs to. Be aware that until it goes into its spot, it's going to bounce back. If I were to drag it down here and try to move it over here, it's going to bounce back. The only way I can adjust that is by going up here. There's a blue box. If I click that and the box turned red, it means I'm now in design mode, which doesn't really affect a lot of what you do until you do things like this. Now I can move pet around to a new location and it'll stay. Once I click that blue box, back to blue, now it's in its new home, and if I drag it, it bounces back unless I put it in its correct location, which is the short sound box. All right, there you have it, an introduction to making an interactive and educational flip chart in ActivInspire. Go out and try it on your own. Happy flip chart making!